Good morning, everyone. Ang topic natin today is AV Structures Engineering. There are different types of agricultural structures. So, first we have the farmhouse. So, ito yung dwellings ng mga ng humans na nagtatrabaho sa farm. Then, we have livestock buildings. So, tsaka yung mga poultry building natin, no? So, yung mga barns, ag houses, poultry houses. So, meron tayong cattle, dairy, pati sa mga horse. Then, meron tayong mga product storage building. So, we have the granaries, mga silos, vegetable storage, fruit storage, and beans. So, dito naman, natin ini-store yung mga na-harvest natin na commodities. We also have crop production buildings such as greenhouses. So, dito naman tayo nagpo-produce ng crops. Ba't ba tayo nag-greenhouse? Para na-protect yung ating crops from the outside environment and mga pests. Meron din tayong mga food and crop processing buildings such as milk houses, slaughterhouse, grain dryers, pasteurizing and bottling plants, fruits and vegetables production and packing. So sa mga buildings na to, dito natin pinoproseso yung mga commodities natin, mga crops, and syempre yung mga livestock. So here we have a milking parlor, and we also have slaughterhouse. Meron tayong mga miscellaneous structures such as fences and mga manure pits. So, basic structural elements. Meron tayong mga basic structural elements such as mga tension members, beams, compression members, and combined members. So, these are present doon sa mga nabanggit nating structures kanina. When we say tension members, ito yung mga tension structural members subjected to tensile strength. Example, itong tie rod na to and itong mga hangers. So, they are all subjected to tension. Next, we have beams. So, these are structural members subjected to loads perpendicular to the long axis of the members. Normally in horizontal position, but sometimes found in an inclined and vertical position. So, ito yung mga beams natin, mga biga. Then, meron tayong mga compression members. Vertical members that resist axial compression load. So, ito naman yung mga columns natin. Ito mga to. So, ito yung mga beam. Then, we have the column. Then, we also have combined members. So, these are members that are subjected to the combined effects of compression and tension and bending. So, there are three kinds of stress, no? So, una is the compression, so which results from the force that tends to compress or crush a member. So, kapag ka-compression, pareho yung direction ng force, no? Dun sa object. By pareho is pasalubong. When we say tension, results from a force that tends to stretch or elongate a member naman. So, pag binaba yung member, tension naman yun. Then, we also have shear. Results from the tendency of two equal and parallel forces acting in opposite directions to cause adjoining surfaces of a member to slide on one another. So, pagka-shear, so, uh, para siyang compression or pwede rin siya parang tension, pero hindi tawag dito, magkasalubong, tawag dito, hindi magkapantay yung force. Kaya nagkakaroon ng shear deformation. Unlike sa tension, pahaba, sa compression naman, paikli yung mga members. So, stress is an internal resistance to an external force. So, ang assumption natin kapag stress, uniformly distributed to over the area and load is axial or perpendicular to the area. So, the formula for stress is P over A or external force over area. So let's try to solve this problem. A hollow steel tube with an inside diameter of 100 mm must carry a tensile load of 400 kN. Determine the outside diameter of the tube if the stress is limited to 120 meganewton per meter squared. Okay? So, ang pinapahanap sa atin is yung outside diameter given that the inside diameter is 100. So, kailangan natin makuha tong area na 'to and then para makuha yung diameter. So sabi, stress is equal to P over A. So given naman yung P tsaka stress. So ang hinahanap is yung diameter at yun ay nakapaloob doon sa area. So gawin natin area is equal to P over stress. So ang area ng tube ay area ng outside minus area ng inside. Or pwede natin gawing pi, tapos d na malaki, d outside squared minus d inside squared all over 4. So, is equal to dun sa force. Ano ba yung force natin? Yung load natin, tensile load is 400 kilonewton. So, gawin natin. By the way, given na naman yung smaller diameter natin, no? So, ito ay 100 mm squared. That's squared. Is equal to 400,000 Newton. So, ginawa ko ng Newton over 120 MPa. So, bakit ganito yung ginawa natin? Yan. So, pwede natin itong gawing times 100,000. Yan. Gawin natin Pascal. Parang Newton, Pascal, mm squared. So, mm din yung makuha natin. Or pwede rin namang 120 megapascal. So, automatic ang makukuha natin dyan is in mm. So, transpose lang or you can solve D which is equal to okay, or siguro pwede natin gawin para mas madali mag-ano muna tayo dito mag-convert and transpose. So, iwan ko muna tong D squared dito sa kabila. Yan. So, we have 4 times 400,000 Newton over 120. Gawin natin itong 100,000 Newton per meter squared. Then, times pi times, plus 100 mm squared. Okay? So, simplify ko na siya. D square root ng balikan ko. 4 times 400,000 divided by 120. So, meron 4.24413.816 times 10 to the negative 3 meters squared. So, times ang 1 meter squared is equal to 1,000 mm quantity squared. Then, may naka-plus pa tayo na 100 mm squared. So, solve na natin to. So, makukuha natin D is equal to 119.3487822 mm. So, yan yung ating outside diameter. Okay, next. A homogeneous 800 kilogram bar AB is supported at either end of the cable as shown. So, calculate the smallest area of each cable if the stress is not to exceed 90 MPa in bronze and 120 MPa in steel. Okay, so pagka-cable, so naghahati sila dun sa or nagsha-share sila sa dinadala nilang weight. So, ibig sabihin, yung ah, stress ni bronze is equal to sa stress ni steel is equal to 1/2 dun sa ano ba yung dinadala nila. So, yung weight ni 800 kilogram bar. So, since sa kilogram to, multiply by natin by 9.81 para maging weight. So, ibig sabihin, pareho sila or hati sila dun sa weight na dinadala nila na 3,924 ton. Okay? So, yan yung kailangan nilang dalhin na weight. Ngayon, ano kaya yung area nila para yung smallest area nila para hindi mag-exceed ng 90 MPa yung bronze at 120 MPa naman yung steel. Okay, so para sa bronze, so sabi stress ng bronze is equal to sorry, over area ng bronze. Okay? So, given yung stress niya na 90 MPa, para sa bronze ay 3924 Newton. So, kunin natin yung area. So, makuha natin na area ng bronze dito is equal to mm, 43.6 mm squared. So, ito kasi automatic. So, automatic. Pagka nag-divide tayo ng Newton divided by MPa, ang unit na pwede natin makuha dyan is mm squared. So, pwede natin gamitin yan. Shortcut na yan. Para itong MPa, hindi na natin siya ginagawa laging 100,000. So, next naman, para naman sa steel. So, same, yung stress ng steel is equal to so, yung kanyang dito, yung kanya tensile ay upper area ng steel. So, meron tayong area ng steel is equal to or pwede natin isulat na ilan yun? 120 MPa. 120 MPa is equal to Same siya na 3924 Newton over area ng steel. Again, when we divide 3924, when we divide Newton by MPa, ang resulting answer ay naka-millimeter squared na. So the answer is 32.7 mm squared. So ito yung mga smallest area para hindi maputol yung ating mga cable. Okay, next. So the homogeneous bar is supported by a smooth pin at cable C. At C, and a cable that runs from A to B around the smooth peg at D. Okay. Find the stress in the cable if its diameter is 0.6 inch and the bar weighs 6,000 pounds. So, paano kaya natin ito isosolve? Okay. So, mag-drawing muna tayo ng free body diagram dyan, no? Let's see, point A, point B, point C. So, si point C, ito meron tayong weight dito na 6,000 pounds. And then, this is 5 meters. 5 meters. So, dito pala ito ilagay sa gitna. So, this is 5 meters. This is also 5 meters. This is point A. This is point B. Nandito yung D natin. So, meron tayo dyang cable. I-assume natin na ganito yung mga forces dyan. So, sa cable, so this is 3 meters. So, pwede tayo maglagay dito ng similar triangle na 3, 5, and that's square root of 4. Square root of 34. Square root of 34. Ilagay natin similar triangle para ma-solve natin yan. Okay? So, since maraming missing na force, at dito, meron tayo dyang tension. Okay? Okay. So, dito, hindi natin kasi alam talaga to kung pataas or pababa. So, mag-assume tayo dito ng pataas yung hila kasi pababa tong weight na to eh. So, pataas yung hila dyan. So, first natin gagawin is magmo-moment tayo sa C. Okay? So, again, moment is force times the perpendicular distance. Okay? So, bakit sa C tayo magmo-moment? Kasi para hindi na natin kukunin yung mga reaction sa C kasi may mga reaction forces pa dito na missing. Okay? So, ang concern natin is yung AD tsaka tong BD. So, since cable to at nagra-run siya, so itong from A to B, isang cable lang yan. Ibig sabihin, iisa lang ang tension yan na T. Okay? So, kaya isa lang yung force dyan sa cable ng A to D tsaka B to D. Isang tension lang. So, pag nag-moment tayo sa C, ang una natin ay mula sa C papunta kay weight. So, ang distance niyan is 5 times 6,000 pounds. Okay? So, 5 meters, 6,000 pounds. So, this is positive moment kasi counterclockwise. And then, dito naman, sa dito, T din to, same lang. So, T times 3 meters. Yan yung perpendicular distance. And, so dito, this is negative moment since clockwise siya. Ba't pa 3 meters? 5 meters pala. So, 5 meters. Ito, hindi pala ito yung perpendicular distance. Ito yung perpendicular distance ni T. And lastly, we have here. So, since ang kailangan natin dyan ay yung pataas na force. So, we have 3 over square root of 34 T times ang length niyan is 10 meters. And this is also negative since negative yung since counterclockwise siya. So with this, we can solve for T, which is equal to 2957.134,107 pounds. Okay? So nakuha na natin yung tension. So ang tanong, find the stress, no, in the cable if the diameter is 0.6 inch. Okay. So meron tayong tension, kailangan natin makuha yung stress. So stress is equal to yung tension natin over area. So ang tension natin is 2957.134,107 pounds divided by yung area daw is 0.6. So ito bilog to, 1/4 or pi over 4. Pi times 0.06 inch squared over 4. So makuha natin yung stress na equal sa 10,458.72246 PSI. Next. So a rod is composed of an aluminum section rigidly attached between steel and bronze sections. So actually loads are applied at the positions indicated. So if P is equal to 3,000 pounds and the cross-sectional area of the rod is 0.5 square inch, determine the stress in each section. Okay, so kukunin natin yung stress sa bawat section na to. So i-drawing muna natin. So meron tayo ditong rod, which is composed of steel, aluminum, and bronze. Tapos, meron silang distance na 2 feet. So, may length sila 2 feet, 3 feet, and 2.5 feet. Tapos, meron tayo ditong force na P at meron tayo ditong force din na 4P. So, sabi, P is equal to 3,000 pounds and area ng rod is 0.5 square inch. Area is 0.5 square inch. P is equal to 3,000 pounds. Okay, so paano natin ito isosolve? So una, solve muna natin yung kaunahan. So dito tayo magsisimula sa 4P kasi nandun yung external force na nahila. So sa steel muna tayo, kunin natin yung stress. Stress is equal to anong force sa steel? So 4 times P. Okay? Pounds over 0.5 square inch. So, kaya ang stress dito is equal to 24,000 pound PSI. Or, pwede tayong gumamit tayo sa pang units, 24 KSI. So, kilopound per square inch. So, may ganyan tayong unit. Next naman, for aluminum. So, kung babalikan natin yung figure, so, ito ay magre-react to ng papaganito. Siyempre, dapat balanse. So, since 4P yung reaction nito, therefore, yung reaction din nito is 4P. Okay? So, para balanse yung ating or in equilibrium. So, yung stress sa aluminum is equal to the force sa aluminum over area ng aluminum. So, which is equal to sa 4 times 3,000 din over 0.5 square inch, which is the same na 24 PSI. Okay? So, next for bronze naman, so kung babalikan natin itong figure na to, so kung nag-exert si aluminum ng 4P dito mag-exert din ng 4P. So, para in equilibrium. Kaya lang, since meron tayo ditong P, itong P na to, ibig sabihin yung force kay bronze ay isang papuntang 4P tsaka isang opposite. So, 3P lang yung force kay bronze. Okay? So, 3P na lang. So, kaya kung sasolve natin siya, so we have stress ng bronze over force ng bronze over area ng bronze. So, equal to sa 3 times 3,000 pounds over 0.5 square inch. So, ang stress kay bronze is equal to 18 KSI. Okay? Next. An aluminum rod is rigidly attached between a steel rod and a bronze rod. Axial loads are applied at the positions indicated. Find the maximum value of P that will not exceed the stress in steel of 14 MPa. In aluminum na 90 MPa at ang bronze na 100 MPa. So, let's try to draw this figure. So, medyo similar din naman yung magiging approach natin dito. So, meron tayo dito bronze, meron tayong aluminum, at meron tayong steel. So, this is 2.5 meters, 2 meters, so 1.5 meters. So, meron yung force na 2P. Dito may nagka-counter yan na P. Dito naman, 4P. So, given din yung mga area nila. Okay? So, unahin natin syempre, yung kay bronze kasi nandun yung external force. So, kunin natin yung mga, ang kabaligtaran naman ito, kukunin natin yung force dito. Okay, so hanapin natin yung value ng P. So, paano natin gagawin yun? So, yung force kay bronze, yung stress kay bronze is equal to force over area. So, since missing yung force, given naman yung stress niya. Ano bang stress kay bronze? 100 MPa, no? So, 100 MPa times or is equal na lang. So, nawawala yung force. Yung area naman ni bronze ay 200 mm. 200 mm squared. Force ni bronze. So, ang force kay bronze ay makakuha tayo ng 20,000 Newton. Okay? Kaya lang, yung force kay bronze is equal to 2P. Therefore, ang hinanap natin is P, which is equal to 20,000 over 2. So, 10,000 yung makukuha nating 10,000 Newton yung makuha nating P. Okay. So, balance lang ngayon dito. So, since nag-counter na tong P na to. So, balance na siya. So, para naman kay aluminum, so, di pwede natin kunin, no? So, stress ni aluminum, force kay aluminum, which is, pag nakita natin dito, P lang yung force niya. So, P na kay aluminum over area ni aluminum. So, stress kay aluminum is 90 MPa. Equal siya sa P aluminum over, ang area ni aluminum ay 400 mm squared. So, kaya P aluminum is equal to 36,000 Newton. Okay. So, last, for steel. So, since meron tayo ditong force kay aluminum na kapag ganito, so meron din siyang force dito para maging equilibrium na P. So, therefore, yung total force kay steel is equal to 4P plus P. Kaya magiging 5P na yung total force kay steel. So, stress ni steel is equal to force ni steel over area ng steel. So, equals to sa ang steel ay nasa 140 MPa. Ang kanyang maximum is equal to sa, gawin na natin itong 5P. Over ang area natin ay 500 mm squared. Therefore, P is equal to 14,000 Newton. Okay, so nakuha na natin yung mga dito, forces. Okay, next. So, hindi pa pala tayo tapos dito kasi find the maximum value of P na gagamitin natin. So, based dito, ang gagamitin nating P ay 10,000. Okay? So, since yun yung safest value natin, pinakamababang value. Kasi kung 14,000 yung gagamitin natin, magpe-fail si bronze at si aluminum. So, next, 12-inch square steel bearing plate lies between an 8 inches diameter wooden post and a concrete footing as shown in the figure. So, determine the maximum value of the load P if the stress in wood is limited to 1800 psi and a concrete to 650 psi. So, paano gagawin natin dyan? So, una, it's so for wood. So, para sa wood, so yung stress ni wood is equal to force sa wood over area ng wood. So, given lang yung kanilang maximum allowable stress. So, si wood ay nasa 1800 psi equal to sa force kay wood over area ni wood. So, si wood ay bilog, it has a diameter of 8 inches. So, pi, 8 inch squared over 4. So, ang force natin kay wood is 90,477.86842 pounds. Okay? So, tingnan naman natin para kay concrete. So, para kay concrete, so, stress ni concrete is equal to force ng concrete over area ng concrete. So, stress ni concrete ay nasa 650 psi equal to sa force kay concrete over area ng concrete. So, ang concrete natin is 12 by 12 inches. So, 12 inch by 12 inch. So, pag hinanap natin yung P sub C, makukuha tayo ng 93,600 pounds. So, anong safe load na gagamitin natin? So, syempre, ito yung gagamitin natin na safe load. Bakit yan? Kasi mas mababa yung force dyan. Kasi kung 93,600 pounds yung gagamitin natin, pwedeng hindi pa sira si concrete, pero yung wood natin, masisira na. Next. So, for the thrust shown in figure P111, calculate the stress in the member CDE, CEDE, and DF. The cross-sectional area of each member is 1.8 inch squared. So, indicate tension or compression. Okay, so, i-redraw natin yung figure. Lagyan natin ng force. So, ito is smooth pin, dalawang force sa kay A, kay F naman, roller, isa lang. Tapos, meron tayong 30 kips. Okay? So, drawing natin yung mga forces. So, meron tayo ditong 30 kips. Meron tayo ditong isa. Tawagin mo itong FY. Ito, tawagin natin to AY. Dito may AX din. So, lagyan natin ng sukat. 8 feet, 8 feet, 8 feet. So, this is 6 feet. This is also 6 feet. And then, yung mga label. So, this is A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay. So, paano natin ito isosolve? Okay. So, syempre, pinakauna, isolve natin yung mga reaction forces. So meron tayo AXAY dito, tsaka dito naman, we have FY. So, kung magsa-summation tayo ng force sa X, nawawala yung AX. So, missing. So, hindi pwede ito. Kung magsa-summation naman tayo ng forces sa Y, missing yung AY, tsaka yung FY. So, hindi rin pwede itong method na to. So, ang choice na lang natin is to use moment. So, saan tayo mag-moment? So, pwede kay A, pwede kay F. Pero dito, in this case, mas madali sa A mag-moment kasi dalawa yung force missing on A, mahanap agad natin yung sa F. Okay? So, pag nag-moment tayo, we have 30 kips times, ang distance niya is 16 feet. So, this is a negative moment since clockwise. And then, Fy naman times 24 feet. So, this is positive moment kasi clockwise naman siya. Equals 0. So, solving for Fy, we will have 20,000. Okay? We have 20,000 uh, kips. Okay. So, next natin gagawin, um, since nakuha na natin sa Fy, pwede tayo ngayon mag-summation ng force at Y para may 0. So, ano ba yung missing? So, meron tayong AY plus 20,000 kips minus 30. No, this is not 20,000. This is 20 kips lang kasi naka-1,000 na nga pala to. So, 20 kips minus 30 kips. So, answer natin dito is meron tayong 10 kips. So, tamang assumption natin na pataas yung AY. So, next. So, isasolve natin na yung so since halos okay na yung mga forces along Y, yung X na lang mahirap hanapin kasi wala tayong ibang value. So, pwede na siguro tayo mag-calculate ng stresses dito. Sa C, E, D, E, and D, F. So, saan tayo pwede magsimula? So, alam ba yung kukumpute natin mga forces? So, compute natin itong CE daw, DE, tsaka, ano pa yung isa? DF. So, etong tatlong members na to. So, since alam natin yung mga forces dito sa FY, so dun tayo magsimula. So, i-isolate natin yung member na yon. So, eto si D. So, dito natin. So, eto si D. Eto si F. Eto naman si, pangalan nito, si E. Point E. Okay? So, i-drawing natin yung mga forces acting on those mga joints. So, si F isa, si Fy, alam na natin to. Then, mag-a-assume ako na si DF ay papaganito, si EF ay papaganyan. So, assumption lang naman yan. Pagka negative yung naging sagot ko dito, ibig sabihin baligtad yung assumption ko. Okay? So, since si DF ay slanting position, at meron tayo similar triangle dito na 6, 8, 6, 8, 10, at 10. So, similar triangle yan. So, si DF dyan ay meron niya component na DFX tsaka DFY. So, paano natin isosolve si DF? So, pabalik lang tayo. Tatlo lang naman gagamitin natin eh. E di summation of f of x, summation of y, tsaka summation ng moment. Okay? So, kung titingnan natin, ang meron lang tayong force dito is tong 20 kips na vertical. So, kaya magsa-summation y tayo. At ang mga force acting on this joint lang ay itong Fy tsaka yung pababa natin na DFY. So, equals to sa 0. So, si Fy ay 20 kips minus yung DFY natin. Paano natin kukunin yung DFY? So, this is 6/10 times DF is equal to 0. So, with that, we can get the value of DF, which is equal to 33.33 kips. Okay? Okay. So, and since pababa itong DFY, pababa siya sa member. So, it is compressing the member or the joint F. So, this is compression. Okay, next naman, at joint D, okay, so at joint D naman tayo. So, bakit hindi natin sinolve tong si EF? So, hindi naman kasi siya pinapasolve eh. So, kaya wag na natin i-solve. So, at joint D, pag dinrawing natin, this is joint D. So, since sa joint F, kapag ganito yung force ni D, so kabaligtaran naman siya. No? Pag kay joint D, pataas naman. So, tagalin ko na to. Then, since kung titingnan natin, ito yung D, E, B, F. So, symmetrical to. No? So, by symmetry, pag ganito si BD, ito si force na DF. And then we have, let's say, papaganto natin ilagay si DE. So, by symmetry, force ng BD is equal to DF, which is equal to 33,000 kips. Okay? So, ang kulang lang natin is DE. So, paano natin hanapin yung DE? So, meron tayo ngayong vertical force, no? Okay? So, si DF, meron siyang force na pataas, pati si BD. So, meron na yung BDY, tsaka DFY. Okay? So, at since vertical yung mga forces natin, so magsasummation tayo ng at Y. So, si DFY is equal to, so, tingnan natin ito by symmetry or by similar triangle rather. So, by similar triangle, this is 6, this is 8, this is 10. Also, this one is 6, 8, and 10. So, kailangan natin is yung vertical force. So, we have 6/10 times value ni DF na 33.33 K kips plus, so si BD naman, 6/10 din siya times 33.33 kips. Then, minus, si DE kasi pababa kaya minus DE is equal to 0. So, pag hinanap natin ng DE, makukuha natin is 40 kips. Since si DE ay palayo kay point D, ito ay tension. Okay. So, nakukuha na natin yung mga value. So, isa na lang kulang natin, C, CE. Okay? So, at joint E. Okay? So, pag dinrawing natin yon, so ito yung joint E, meron tayo dito papuntang EF, meron tayo dito pataas. So, kabaligtad na naman siya kay DE. So, kasi hinihila nga siya. Si DE nga ay tension eh. Tapos si BE naman dito, hula ko lang to si BE, na ganito yung direction niya. Then, meron tayo ditong 30 kips. At 30 kips. Tapos, meron tayo ditong CE na naka 6, 8, 10 ulit yung similar triangle niya. So, ang kailangan nating mahanap ay yung sa CE. And si CE, meron siyang CEY tsaka CEX na component. Okay? So, since mas marami tayong vertical force na alam, si DE, alam natin itong DE nito na 40 kips na tension. So, para mahanap yung value ng CE, magsasummation na lang tayo ng vertical forces. Summation ng Y. So, ano-ano yon? Meron tayong negative 30 kips na pababa. Meron tayong positive na 40 kips na pataas. And meron tayo na since pababa si CEY, so this is 6/10 times CE is equal to 0. So pag ginanap natin yung value ng CE, we have 50/3 kips. Which is since pababa siya, hinihila niya yung joint E. So this is a tension. So yan, nakuha na natin yung mga forces acting on each member. So summarize ko lang. Kulang pa pala ako. Wait lang. Mag-a-add lang ako ng ano. Yan, I think nakapag-add ako ng yun. Okay. So i-summarize lang natin. Si DF ay 33.33 K na compression. Si DE naman is 40 K kips. Lagi ko ng kips to. This is compression, this is tension. And then we have CE na 50/3 kips na tension din. Okay? So, pero hindi yan yung pinapahanap sa atin. Kung babalikan natin ang problem, pinapahanap is stress. So, hanapin natin yung stress ng bawat member. So, stress ng CE is equal to dun sa force niya over area na given naman 1.8 inch squared. So, kaya makukuha natin dito is 9.259259259 kilopounds. And K. Then, for DE, (40 kips over 1.8 inch squared), we have 22.22 K. And lastly, sa DF naman, meron tayo 33.33 kips din over 1.8. So we have 18.518 na paulit-ulit K. So yan yung mga stresses natin. Okay, so next nating topic naman is ito naman ay bearing stress to, no? So what force is required to punch a 20 mm diameter hole in a plate that is 25 mm thick? So the shear strength is 350 meganewton per meter squared. So this is bearing stress. At ang formula pagka bearing stress, V is equal to TA. So V is the shearing force, which is equal to the punching force to. So, yung V natin, at yung T naman natin dito, ito yung bearing stress. So, given yung shearing strength niya na 350 meganewton per meter squared, hanapin natin yung punching force. So, paano natin gagawin yun? So, given na 350 to, so, multiply natin by area. So, anong area ang tinutukoy? Ang area ang tinutukoy ay ito, area na to. So, bakit hindi ito? Kasi, ito yung area or ito yung area na nagre-resist dun sa force. So, kaya yan yung kailangan natin. So, paano natin kukunin yan? Since ito ay pabilog at pagka tinuwid natin yan, yan ay rectangular. So, kailangan natin thickness na diameter. So, basically, ito ay circumference times thickness. So, kaya pi times ang diameter natin ay 20 mm times ang thickness natin is 25 mm. So, pagka diniretso natin to, automatic ang sagot natin is Newton na lang. So, the answer is 549,778.7144 Newton. So, ganun lang kasimple. So, next. A hole is to be punched out of a plate having a shearing strength of 40 ksi. The compressive stress in the punch is limited to 50 ksi. So, compute the maximum thickness of the plate with a hole of 2.5 inch in diameter that can be punched. And if the plate is 25 inch thick, determine the diameter of the smallest hole that can be punched. Magkabaligtad naman. So, sa A muna tayo. Okay, so, compute muna natin yung max thickness of the plate. So, paano natin kukunin yun? So, yung stress natin is 50, yung limited. Okay, so yun yung pinakamataas na force. So, yun yung gagamitin natin, hindi yung 40. So, yung P natin is equal to the punching force, which is P is equal to maging PA na to. So, P is equal to 50 KSI times pi to area. Ang hinanap natin is minimum thickness of plate with a hole of 2.5 inch in diameter that can be punched. So, yung area natin is equal to 2.5 pi over 4. So, makuha natin na punching strength is 245.4369261 kips. So, ito yung punching strength natin. Okay, so based on the shearing strength, 40 KSI lang yung meron tayo. Okay? So, ito pala pinumpute natin. Ito yung punching force nito. Since 50 KSI yung limit natin, pinumpute natin muna yung punching force. So, para makuha natin yung area or yung thickness, so B is equal to TA. So, yung V natin is yung punching force equals to sa 40 KSI yung limit natin multiplied by pi times 2.5 times thickness. So, therefore, thickness is equal to 0.78125 inch. So, ganyan lang yung thickness ng plate na kaya nating i-punch. Next, letter B, yung 0.25 inch naman yung thick yung plate. Determine the diameter of the smallest hole that can be punched. Kabaligtar naman. So, B is diameter of smallest hole. So, Computin muna natin yung compression nito. So, yung force na kaya natin is 50 yung limit natin times 4 pi times d squared. So, hindi natin alam yung minimum area. So, kaya pagka compute natin 12.5 pi d squared. So, yan yung punching force natin. So, based dun sa shearing, P is equal to V, 12.5 pi d squared is equal to 40. So, this is ellipse na to. Ellipse. Ano ba ellipse ba to? Ellipse. 40 KSI times pi. So, hindi natin alam yung diameter. Tapos, given yung thickness na 0.25 inch. Yan. So, pag inanap natin yung diameter, makuha natin is 0.8 inch. So, yan yung diameter na kayang i-punch if 0.25 inch thick naman yung plate. Okay. So, that's all for short dito. Short review ng strength of materials. So, next naman natin ay itong materials of construction. So, aside from dun sa naituro ko dati na method sa pag-estimate ng mga materials, so may iba pang formula na pwede tayo maggamitin. Pero mag-introduction tayo dito. So, yung wood is one of the most common material na ginagamit natin for construction. So, it is strong, durable, madali siyang ipasen, light in weight, and may artistic natural beauty. Meron tayong mga recommended uses ng Philippine timber depending upon the strength group. So, from high strength class 1 to low strength class 5. So, may mga end uses yan kung saan magandang gamitin. So, plywood is a material that's made up of 3, 5, 7 or more veneer slices laid one upon the other with grain of each at right angles to those of the sheet above and below. So, yung thickness nito can be 3.2, 4.7, 12, 20 with a normal width of 1.2 and a length of 1.8 to 2.4. So, normally, ang mga plywood natin is 4 by 8 feet yung kanyang sukat. We can classify plywood as softwood, hardwood, and marine. So, softwood, most common for structural use. Hardwood, used for paneling and finishing, where usually only one phase is with hardwood finish, and marine is for external use. So, lumber measurement. So, wood is normally priced in board foot. So, one board foot of wood has a normal size of 1 foot length by 1 foot width by 1 inch thick. So, ito yung formula natin ng board foot. So, length times width times thickness over 12. So, dapat ang unit nila is feet inch. And yung, halimbawa naman, kung meron tayong isang log and we want to determine the number of board foot that we can obtain from that. So, this is the formula. So, d minus 4 quantity squared times the length of the log divided by 16. So, d is diameter in inch, L is in feet. So, we also have nails requirement. So, the weight of the nails is equal to 20 times the number of board foot over 1,000. So, let's try this one. Compute the cost of 50 pieces na 2 by 3 by 12 number at 27 pesos per board foot. So, kunin natin yung number of board foot. Sabi ay naka-feet, feet, inch. So, ito naman ay naka-feet, inch, inch. So, meron tayong feet, meron tayong inch, meron tayong inch. So, pwede na nating i-direct sa formula. Sa meron tayo feet, inch, inch. So, ganun kadaming board foot to? We have 6 board foot. And pag kinompute natin yung cost, so we have 50 pieces times 6 board foot times 27 pesos per board foot. So, ang total cost natin is 8,100 pesos. Next. So, a log has a 24-inch diameter and 18-inch feet length. What is the total number of board foot that can be obtained from the log? So, board foot is equal to D minus 4 squared L over 16. So, diameter natin is 24. It's 4 squared. Ang length natin is in feet. So, this is 18 over 16. So, total board foot natin is 450 board foot. So, simple lang yung mga equation natin. So, next. Determine the number of board foot that can be obtained with a log of smaller diameter 1.75 meters and 5 meters in length. So, ito, mahirap lang ng konti kasi kailangan natin mag-convert. So, we have 1.75 meters times, or gawin ko na itong cm, times madali, times 1 inch, 2.54 cm, minus 4, quantity squared, times 500 cm times 1 inch, 2.54 cm over 16. So, total board foot natin dito is 4,318.10141 board foot. Okay? Next. So, Engineer Barredo and Engineer Cortez were asked to design 5 pieces of workbenches. The engineers found out that they needed 10 pieces of 2 by 3 by 12 and 5 pieces na 2 by 2 by 12 for each workbench. How many board feet of lumber do you need per piece of workbench? So how much would it cost if the board foot of lumber costs 24 pesos? Also determine the weight of the nails needed. Okay, so una, hanapin natin muna yung number of board foot. So meron tayong 2 by 3 by 12 over 12, tapos kailangan natin ito sa, so how many board feet of lumber would be, kailangan natin ng 10 pieces sa isang workbench times 10 plus yun natin ganito para alam natin. Plus 2 by 2 by 12 over 12 times 5 naman. So, total board foot natin is 80 board foot per workbench. So, hindi na natin kukunin to since hindi na natin times sa 5 pieces of workbench kasi per workbench naman. But if we would like to determine the total cost, okay, let's say yung cost ng per workbench. So, kung sa total, we have 80 board feet times 5 bench. So, meron tayong 400 board feet para sa lahat. And yung cost niyan is equal to, magkano? 24 pesos per board feet. So, meron tayong 9,600 pesos. And para naman sa number of nails, we have 20 times yung board feet natin over 1,000. So, lalabas na ito, ang weight of nails na kailangan natin is 8 kg. So, yan yung mag-estimate ng dami ng board feet ng weight of nails needed for that project. Next, we have volume of paint needed for wood. So, sa pagka first coating, 3.78 area ng wall or ng wood basta area over 20. Pagka naman second coating, 3.78 times area over 25. So, in liters na yung makukuha natin. Engineer Motas would like to paint her living room whose dimensions 10 by 20 by 5. To determine the paint needed, if she will be using white paint for the first coating and neon pink for the second coating. Floor and ceiling and area of window are excluded. So, yun muna yung assumption natin. So, we have a 10 by 20 by 5 meters. And yung wall natin. So, let's compute na lang yung area. So, yung total area natin is dalawang 10 by 5 tsaka dalawa ding 20 by 5 meters. So, ang total area natin dito ay 300 square meters. So, for the volume of paint needed, so we have 3.78. Ito para sa first coating over 20. So, lalabas dito is 56.7 liters of white paint. First coating to. Para man sa second coating, over 25 naman to. So, kailangan natin ng 45.36 liters of neon pink na paint. Okay, so ganun lang mag-estimate. So, next material of construction is the concrete. So, it is a combination of cement and aggregate, fine and coarse. Aggregates can be sand, broken stones, or gravel cinders, blast furnace, slag, etc. Concrete is used in footings, wall and column foundations, slabs, and pavements and beams. Concrete is less common in farm structures, and when in use, concrete is always reinforced by steel bars to help the concrete in shear and tension. Ano bang qualities ng concrete? It's durable, hard, mataas yung strength niya in terms of compression, and it can be formed in various shapes. So, concrete, mixture siya ng limestone and other clay materials. They burn to kiln to form a fairly inert clinker, and the inert clinker will react with water, a process called hydration, to form a set of cement. So aggregates, so applied to sands, broken stones, or gravels that the cement binds together. We have fine aggregates. So this aggregate passes through 1/4 inch screen or 6.25 mm. Pagka naman coarse aggregate, nare-retain sila sa 1/4 inch screen or sieve. So greater than 6.25 mm. So concrete, strength of concrete will depend on the following: strength of the cement and aggregates, quality of mixture, and water-cement ratio. So kapag ka nag-mix tayo ng cement at water lang, tinatawag natin yung paste. Pagka cement, water, and sand, mortar naman. At meron tayong specially formulated mortar na tinatawag na grout. Ano bang function ng mortar? Used to bond units together, seal spaces between unit, ties steel reinforcement and anchor bolts into the wall, and provide design of lines of color and shadows. So, aside from the material estimation na ituro ko, we also have the Fuller's formula. So, ang mabilisan din to estimate the number of bags of cement, volume of sand, volume of gravel. And yung C is equal to 55 over C plus S plus G. Ano yung maliliit na C, S, G? Ito yung cement, sand, gravel ratio. And then to compute for the gravel and sand, it is 0.028 CS and 0.028 CG. So, ito yung mga mixture. Ito mga to. Ito yung C plus S plus G. Pag-a-addin lang natin yung mga yan. So, ito yung mga classes natin. Class A, 1 to 2 to 4. Ito yung cement, sand, and gravel. So, used for beams, slabs, columns, and for all members which are subjected to bending stress. Class B naman, 1 is to 2.5 is to 5, used for all members not reinforced for bending stress. And Class C, 1 is to 3 is to 6, used for footing not underwater. CHB, most widely used masonry materials for all types of construction, walls, partition, dividers, fences, etc. So we can classify CHB as bearing or non-bearing. Pagka bearing, its thickness ranges from 15 to 20 cm and are used to carry load aside from its own weight. Pagka naman non-bearing, thickness ranges from 0.75 to 10 cm and are intended for walls, fences. So ito yung karaniwan natin. Yung width natin, nagbabago. Pwede 4, 5, or 6 yung width nito. Depende kung saan natin gagamitin. So, pag nag-estimate tayo for a concrete hollow block wall, we need to quantify the amount of CHB. So, ito yung rule natin na there are 12.5 pieces of CHB per square meter of work. Then, we also need to quantify the amount of cement and sand for block laying, cement and sand for gravel and filling, cells, cement, and fine sand for plastering, and cement, sand, and gravel for CHB footings. We also have some rough estimates na there are 100 board foot per cubic meter of lumber, para naman sa cement, 10 bags per cubic meter of plaster. Steel reinforcement, 100 to 120 kilograms per cubic meter of concrete. Sa roof framing naman, 14 board foot per square meters of roof area. For ceiling framing, 7 board foot per square meter roof area. Sa nails, kailangan natin 20 kg per 1,000 board foot. And sa studding naman, 2 by 3 per 4 board foot per square meter. Okay. So sidings naman, kailangan natin ng 10.7 board foot per square meter. Para sa flooring, 10.8 board foot per square meter. Floor joist na 2 by 6, 15 board foot per square meter. Ceiling joist 2 by 2, 4 board foot per square meter. Sa purlin naman, 2 by 4 na 4.4 board foot per square meter. GI sheet na 32 by 8 is 0.7 to 38 piece per square meter. Roof nails, 2.5, 0.082 kilogram per square meter. Meron din tayong coop cement na 0.042887 gallons per square meter. Straps na 3.6, 0.045237 sheet per square meter. Rivets na 3, 8 by 1/4. Kailangan natin ng 2.0069 kg per square meter. GI washer na 1/4, 0.1588 kg per square meter. 1 metric ton of asphalt concrete covers 8 square meters pavement, 0.05 meters thick or 0.43 cubic meter of asphalt concrete. Try natin mag-solve ng mga to. So, engineer data science, engineer Panabal would like to cement the flooring of their pallet warehouse with a total volume of 1.5 cubic meters. Determine the number of bags of cement and volume of sand and gravel required using 20 liters of water for every bag of cement and a 1:2.5:5 na mixture. So, paano gagawin natin? So, we need to compute for the volume of cement. So, paano natin compute yung cement? Gagamitin natin Foley's formula. So, 0.55 over, 55 over C plus S plus G. So, ito yung C plus S plus G natin. Then, multiply natin to dun sa volume. Kasi itong formulang to, per cubic meter lang. So, kailangan natin i-multiply sa volume ng concrete work. So, ang answer natin dito is 9,705.882353 bags per cubic meter. So, yan. So, wag muna tayo round off. Para naman sa sand, so, formula 0.028 yung concrete natin times yung ratio ng sand. So, this is equal to 679.4117647 meter cube ng sand. At para mas sa gravel, so kailangan natin siyang i-multiply dun sa ratio ng gravel. So, 1358.823.529 meter cube. So, kung isa-summarize natin, so cement is Cement is 9705.0882353 bags. Right? So, for round off na natin na 9,706 bags. Sa sand naman, pwede nating i-round off siya ng 680 cubic meters and sa gravel naman, pwede nating i-round yun ng 1,359 cubic meters. Okay? So next, engineer plan is going to fence his rectangular lot whose dimension is 250 by 300 meters and the height of the fence 2.5 meters. So determine the number of CHB needed. So, kunin natin yung area, no? So, area is equal to length so length times height times 2 plus width times height times 2. So, yung area is 250 times 2.5 times 2 plus 300 times 2.5 times 2. So, 2,750 square meters yung kailangan nating lagyan ng dito, hollow blocks. Okay? So, to compute for the number of CHP needed, so basic lang naman. No? So, yung area divided by 12.5 pieces. Sorry, hindi to table. Times 12.5 pieces per meter squared. So, pag multiply natin ito, we will have 34,375 pieces na sa HP. Well, okay, next. Engineer Mendoza would like to build a rectangular dome having a 15 by 10 by 3 dimension. Estimate the number of concrete hollow blocks needed. So, exclude the foundation. So, kunin ulit natin yung area. So, we have 15 times 3 times 2 plus 10 times 3 times 2. So, yung area of work natin is 150 meters squared. So, sa number of CHB equal to 150 meters squared times 12.5 pieces per meter square. So we have 1,875 pieces na CHP. So that's all. Thank you.